Okay, what do you want?
Quite a lot of the stuff that was being said there was just not
Jesus.
really
Wait, where are you from again?
informed.
I'm sorry, you told me this one point. Scott?
Britain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Britain. Okay. What's your
But,
problem? Go.
um, yeah, a lot of the stuff was just, I feel like, not informed by an actual understanding of how, to be honest, any like AI stuff is working, but also LLMs. Like the architecture stuff it matters, and the main, like, I don't necessarily disagree that the current form of AI is not going to like match up to the human brain in certain characteristics, but like your point about, like, technically I don't see why an AI couldn't do the same as a human brain, I think is correct, and probably quite obviously so. And the larger point of the current limitations, which I think would require like some breakthrough or significant thing in research, are, he sort of brought this up, of the human brain requiring far less data than AI. Um, and then also the fact that AI can't really learn at the moment, kind of, but like it doesn't do well at learning continuously. So if I like I guess the main thing for distinction here is that with AI, there's like a big distinction between in context learning of, I'm in a single chat session with ChatGPT and I give it an example of something that it doesn't know already, and it doesn't know it initially. I give it an example, tell it how to do it, and then it could do a pretty good job of replicating that. It seems to have learned it, so to speak. But none of the actual brain, so to speak, of ChatGPT has actually changed. It's just reading the stuff above and using
Oh, so
that
it's
as
like
sort
you
of
wake up
context.
every day as a smart person, and then you have the day's tasks that you learn, but you're not like integrating them in the way that like the hippocampus integrates into your long-term memory. So like you might learn to play the
Yes.
saxophone, or you might learn how to play a little bit of saxophone one day, but then you go to sleep and you wake up and you still have that same database from before. So you lose it basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The big distinction being here between AI is
This is
that
why every time I
there's
have like a new
like,
ChatGPT conversation, I have to re-explain what a big titty goth GF is because it doesn't have it in its database yet. I know what you mean, yeah.
true. But yeah, there's two sort of ways you could fix this. One is allow the like actual structure of the neural network, or even just the like parameters, the sort of weights in the brain of the AI, to change based on like continuously, which currently isn't the case. The big issue with that is it's sort of associated with the learning rate thing of, you need a lot of data to train something like this and to make a meaningful impact in terms of it learning stuff. A few examples are more than enough for a human to learn something in most cases. A few examples are not enough for ChatGPT to learn like permanently in terms of changing the weights. So there'd need to be a breakthrough in that.
Sure. I
Or
imagine it, I
alternatively,
feel
you
like
could figure out how to
maybe
have
it,
unlimited like length conversations.
I feel like it could learn, but it would probably make the data really fucked if you've got people teaching it bad shit, right? All right. I don't even know if it is learning, I guess, because the only way it's learning is by people
It's
telling it things, right?
like kind of, but not really. Like in principle, yes, you could have that, but that's sort of an easy thing in that it's not that hard to filter data now.
Okay.
Existing like LLMs are good enough to filter good data from bad in some cases. You can also get AI to create data for other AIs to train on, which is how a lot of current AIs are trained, is not on that much human data. But like the real issue is just like you need a lot of data to train on, because if you make the brain have like big changes each time like it gets a new example, it quite quickly collapses and just turns to nonsense. It needs a whole bunch of small nudges to stay sort of coherent at the moment.
And
And
why is it
there's
that
no
our
like
brain,
timeline.
is it because we have so much sensory input? Because like if I see one thing in my brain, if I see a human being like jump off a building and fly, I'm not going to assume I can do that. Even if I see 100 people jump off a building and fly, I don't think I would assume I could do that. Why are human brains more resistant there? Or do you agree with that guy, I guess more broadly, that there is kind of a fundamentally different way the human brains learn based on sensory input, giving rise to semantic experience, and as a byproduct, it can reason, versus LLMs are just giant statistical like next word generators. That's I'm not when I say next word
I
generators, I don't mean to make it sound like simplistic or
Yeah,
ridiculous.
no,
Like I'm sure that can be
I
good. Yeah.
wouldn't quite say that. Like the one thing I would say is that the semantic thing is, I think, silly, because AI is incredibly good at semantic understanding, and in fact, that arguably that's part of what it was invented to do.
When
with
you
large
say,
language
I'm
models.
sorry, I think he's using a neuroscientist definition of semantic. When he says semantic understanding, I think he's saying to understand the experience of a thing, not like when Searle talks about semantics versus syntax. Like the syntax is like the dog's fur is soft, but a semantic understanding of what a dog is like a whole interconnected series or like neurons that light up and give rise
what
to the experience.
LLMs are good at. It is that kind of semantic. I mean, obviously, it's not quite the same thing when they don't have like physical experiences, right? But like,
Well, sure. So that's the question: is does an
there is
LLM
substantial
know what
research
a
for like
Does an-
linking between things like the word dog and the understanding of attributes of a dog and a picture of a dog and all the things that make a dog a dog.
does
Like,
it does
it's
it
not
know what
just-
does an LLM know what a dog is though, or is it just telling you what a
Yes.
dog is? So you think an LLM has
Well,
a,
like I think you could say yes. An LLM would know what a dog is, equally as good as a human. I would say.
really?
In every way, we could tell.
Have you heard the Mary's Red Room experiment or whatever?
Yes, but like how do I put this? Like,
'Cause my next question would be, does
obviously
Mary
there's
learn
limits-
anything? And then my
there's-
next question is like, does
yeah.
the LLM know that? Does it know the color red in the way that Mary would learn the color red if she saw it? You think that LLMs have a semantic understanding that's similar to a human being's semantic understanding of a thing? Yeah, go ahead.
Not necessarily in the same way that humans do, but I would say I don't see any reason to say that the human one is like unique in being the correct one, if that makes sense.
Really? I disagree with you, but I don't know if I could even articulate why. I mean, I feel like having
Yeah,
the
like-
semantic experience of petting a dog and hugging a dog and seeing a dog and feeling a dog is different than just a whole bunch of computational statements telling you, even if you could perfectly explain the dog without ever having seen one. I feel like the semantic understanding is somewhat
Yeah,
different.
but like supposing you could like input that data into an LLM, which
Mm-hmm.
is a perfectly feasible thing to do if you had the sensors for it. I don't see any reason like there's nothing inherent to it why it wouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, wait, you said if it had the
Form of
census
data
for
that
it.
you've given it has the same thing.
Yeah, I just don't think we've
Like,
had.
but like that's just like a data input problem. But I like if you were to give a human in the sort of Mary's room thing, if you gave Mary all the same data to like an AI, the AI would have the same issues as Mary. Of like, it's not really like a brain problem. It's just she doesn't have the data required to actually have that like input.
How would the LLM have the data required without having the sensory organ, I guess?
Well, yeah, it wouldn't, but like it's like Mary is still a human, right? Like what I'm saying is that like just because there's a difference between like understanding a thing and experiencing it doesn't mean that's any different for the AI, right? Like just because it hasn't had that experience doesn't mean it couldn't. Like yeah, like I don't think there's a meaningful distinction here beyond just nobody's hooked that stuff up yet to an AI, and I don't think it would meaningfully change the results of like how an AI functions and that kind of thing. The more meaningful thing I think is like in terms of limitations is just it doesn't have a good way to learn continuously in like a permanent way. And yeah, I think as I mentioned, like the way is either you have some method to more efficiently like learn continuously in terms of the same way that you teach it initially when training the AI, or you could, I guess, achieve the same thing by having effectively an infinite context where it just has all of the text it's ever been sent as context. But that is probably infeasible for the obvious reason of it's just not gonna. We won't have the hardware to scale up that fast. But yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else?
I think that's it. Right.
Okay. Well, thanks for the input. We'll integrate it into our databases, and yeah.
All right. Bye.
I love you. Be careful. Okay. Just so you guys are aware, this is an American stream for Americans, okay? If you're European and you're here, you're enjoying this as a byproduct of what my wonderful country is creating for you, while it still can create anything at all, okay? So be aware of that. Motherfuckers. Why are all the smart people on the stream or in the community European? It's just because all the smart Americans are working right now. Okay, fuck you. Okay, what did I say for chat messages? And DGG, Destiny, I think that's a mistake you make. The fact the brain can grow means it can adapt itself more to different problems than a board with a fixed architecture. The neural networking is built into the blueprint of the brain compared to a virtualized neural network that uses hardware that might not even be ideal for your specific problem you want to solve. I mean, that would be a matter of making the hardware complex enough, right? But I mean, I understand what you're saying for now. Somebody said, thoughts on the LSF politics ban? Are we enjoying all the Forsen and extra Emily clips? The issue with LSF that is just so mindfucky for this, and I understand people have their feelings, is that people feel so strongly about soon you'll be a refuge in Europe, so just ping us then. Thanks, always reason for the $10. People are just they feel so strongly about different streamers that, maybe it's not with the LSF mods, although I mean that one guy went onto that pay money Wubby stream and it seemed like he did, and that like all of their rules seem to come from how they feel about individual streamers, and which is probably not the ideal way to run a sub. Like, I think that the politics problem I think is very interesting to talk about on LSF. Like, I think you have a couple issues. One, if we look at the con side, one is that not everybody wants to see politics 24/7 on LSF. Like, I'm sympathetic to that. Like, if you go on LSF and you don't really give a fuck, especially if you're European. Where's the meme? Hold on. Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Oh, it's this one. Like, every single day on the internet is okay. Fuck you. Is basically this if you're European. I learn American politics against my will, and as a result of that, I learn American politics against my will, and as a result of that, I learn American politics against my will, and as a result of that, I learn against... yeah, right, I understand this. I'm sympathetic towards this. And even if you are American, you might just not give a fuck. You don't want every single post you see to be about politics. I think that's a sympathetic position to have, okay? Number one. So, get that out of the way. That's fair. I mean, I used to browse LSF a lot. I still do. And I like the car flips and the PUBG stuff and everything else. I think that the End Force and clips and everything else and Northern Lion and Moon, I think those are good clips, okay? So I'm sympathetic to that. But on the other hand, your largest streamer on Twitch does exclusively politics. And then Hassan is a big streamer on Twitch. He does politics. I'm a decently big streamer. I do politics. So are you really going to cut off one of the largest forms of content creation just because you don't like that content? Is that going to be excluded from LSF? I don't know. That seems kind of weird. Imagine if the biggest game on Twitch by far was like League of Legends and the vast majority of clips were League of Legends. Are you going to start banning League clips because you don't want to see League all day on LSF? I don't know. I feel like they should find some way to limit it so there's not you got to admit the past month or two has been crazy where every single time you go on this sub, it's like a billion. It's like me responding to Asmongold, responding to Hassan, responding to everything else. Now, I would also say that arguably some of this culture is created by the fact that Asmongold and Hassan are pussies and refuse to have direct conversations. So then you get this weird responsive, which is cringe as fuck, right? But yeah, it'd be nice if there was some way to balance it out that doesn't require like mega threads or something. One rule that I thought of that I thought would be interesting is make it so that like you ban reaction clips, or rather a reaction clip has to be posted in response to the other clip. So let's say Asmongold says an Asmongold statement like, I think all immigrants should be killed in the United States because they're too brown for me, right? It's like, okay, standard Asmongold clip. Let's say that I watch that and I say, this is crazy. Asmongold's mom should have died even harder or whatever, right? And then let's say Hassan watches and it goes crazy that Sex Pestany wants to attack Asmongold now just because he didn't get invited to Epstein's Island with Asmongold, right? That all of these clips would somehow be in the same thread, right? So we get the original clip that's posted, but you don't need a different thread for every single reaction to the same thing. I think that would cut down on a lot of the spam. But yeah, I don't know. It's a complicated problem. It just feels like nobody wants to actually talk about how to solve it. They're just like, we're just banning all of it. It's like, okay, you can do that. It's just going to cut down a lot on the traffic subreddit, and then it's not going to be as representative to LSF as like the whole streaming landscape is. But I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you have to decide. Oh, and then there's also this other thing that sucks in that politics streamers have the most active Reddit fan bases, right? Like Asmongold, Destiny, and Hassan, I guess even, have the most active Reddit fan bases. So of course their threads are always going to be the biggest ones with the most amount of battles in the comments and everything too. Whereas other streamers just don't even engage with Reddit that much, I feel, you know? Sorry, hold on. Let me put this near my door. IP ban if bad link. Well, hold on. I had a lot of other comments in here. I think these were from YouTube. The brain functions at the level of cells and is tightly packed. Hard to get much more efficient than that. Cells are big things, my dude. On the grand scale of all the things that can exist, cells are pretty big. Transistors are operating on the level of Jesus, like less than, what are they now? Less than 20 nanometer? I don't know what the nanometer architecture is, but I think transistors are much more tightly packed than like cells are, right? Transistors. Transistors? Transistors. Transistors. Wait, that's right? Which is a bigger jump, transistor to cell or cell to galaxy? Probably cell to galaxy, for sure. It's sub 2 nanometers. I feel like once they got below 15 nanometers or something, people said that the way they're measuring it now is different. So it's not truly like, it's not really 14 nanometers. It's like the equivalent to the old 20 or something. I don't know how true this is. I don't care. Oh, this guy, if you type stuff like this, I permaban you from chat, okay? First, Bradley, 3281. Wave goodbye in YouTube chat. I'll be back later. Let me know when stuff starts getting interesting. First of all, nobody knows you, little bro, so no one's going to let you know, okay? Number one. Number two, if you don't like it, just leave. Well, I don't understand this idea of like, I'm just letting you guys know I'm bored. Bye. Okay, just leave, bro. Just leave. You're okay, all right? Some guy said, I have a 0.99 probability of pseudoscience prior for anyone who uses the incompleteness theorem for scientific arguments. This is true. Same thing with quantum mechanics. But I feel like that guy knew his shit pretty well. And from at least my limited understanding, he was describing it pretty well, right? So I don't know. I feel like that guy knew his shit. I feel like one of the issues too for LSF is, and again, because I've been off Twitch now for 2 or 3 years, I guess, I feel like Twitch has kind of gotten a bit more boring and insulated. Like it feels like before there was like a club or like a group of people on Twitch, like back with the Austin streamers and everything else, where everybody was kind of like interacting with each other and they were doing things and it was kind of interesting. And it feels like people have gotten a lot more insulated now. But maybe that's just because, maybe I feel that way because like the WL community maybe is not as much on Reddit. Maybe that level of community interaction, everything exists. It's just not in the places that I'm looking, you know? Somebody said LSF or the Poggers community, the WL isn't on Reddit. Yeah, that might be it. And I might not even care about the WL stuff if I saw it. Maybe these communities might skew too young now for like my interests, as hard as it is to say, rip. Yeah, I feel like everybody kind of raped everybody in the Austin, like literally, so it might just be. You kind of burned the bridge with the Legion comment. I don't even remember if that was a bridge burning moment or not. I don't care. I don't know if I would interact much with the WL community. Like I said, there's a significant age and interest gap. I don't mean that derogatorily. Like I think that community runs a lot younger than, and we do like politics and stuff is probably more boring and is not as interesting as to them. And then conversely, what they do is not, or inversely, what they do is not as interesting to us. Yeah. How close are you to 5 million coins? On our graders, I stopped trying to collect money a long time ago. I don't even know what the point is. I don't know what the expedition is going to be. I have like 6 million coins, I think. What happened to the planned news, etc. for the first 2 to 3 hours of stream a few weeks back? Dude, news sucks, okay? What do you want me to say? Today, Trump is trying to overthrow the country in some other way, okay? I'm trying to just not do gaming for the first few hours so that we can not totally and utterly destroy my stream. Thank you so much, by the way, for whoever's view botting me. Thank you. I need it so badly. Maya finds out that one of the popular Lumeo 7TV emote is her.
Okay, that one. Am I the only one that sees that because it's enabled in my channel? Or because that's what I thought, and then I watched a clip today of I saw a clip today of like Julia. I think it was from Julia's.
Can you expand on why you don't like Scott Galloway? He's probably the biggest lover right now. When he talks about like the men's issues, I feel like he gets a little bit too red pilly stuff. I think in general, I think Scott's better than most people, but that started to get a little bit weird, I think. I don't know.
Stream, and I saw my face in it, and I was like, wait, I thought that was just me because it's my channel, and so I thought I saw my face on it. A ton of people use it. Why? It's not even good. It's not even a good emote.
If news sucks, why not dive into a bigger research project like Israel-Palestine? I mean, maybe, but man, what a worthless fucking... I say worthless, but not really. I feel like... I mean, I enjoyed it, but god damn. Talk about never being used ever for like almost any debates. I think I had like 4 good conversations related to Israel-Palestine. Jesus Christ. Maybe that topic's just like particularly heated though.
Not even a good emote. I feel like that's not a good one.
What is the
It's a
emote
Public
offer?
7 TV emote. It's good. It's pretty good. Is this my claim to fame? 4,000 channels use it. What?
Why not dive into AI/LLMs? Haha. Maybe. Man, that whole community, those people all drive me fucking insane.
Bro, God, I'm such a fucking nonce, bro. God, I'm a nonce, bro.
Wait, what? Hey, yo, driver, stop this car real quick.
I'm gonna be honest, until there were a few years ago, did it come up with Chud Logic? I always thought nonce was just like a general like dunce term too. Apparently a lot of people in this thread did as well, that it just means dumb. But for bongers, it's pedophile. People in the comments being shocked and finding out that British people call each other pedo as a general insult and no, they didn't mean idiot is really fucking funny. Oh, is that true? Maybe because bongers use it all the time? I mean, I guess now in America, we call everybody a pedophile, so. Based. Nonce, not nunce. Nonce? Whatever. Somebody said Pisco and Hutch are debating right now. I can't watch Pisco arguments live. Maybe when they're done, I might go through it, but I can't. The Pisco conversations, it's just like, I only have so much time in the day, and it's like a 3-hour conversation that could have been had in 20 minutes every single time for like every single one I've watched recently. Not saying Pisco's bad faith or dumb or anything else. I'm just saying that like for some reason his arguments just take way, way, way too long to get off the ground. Holy fuck.
Hello, King.
Hello, King, Jester guy, other King.
You missed my message where I said I thought the best debate you could have would be like if you talk to someone like Benny Morris and be like, listen, I want you to defend the other side as hard as possible. And I bet you would actually get a really fucking good debate out of something like that.
I mean, like Benny Morris already has like, I would say like a fairly reasonable position on things. Like people cite his work a lot. Benny Morris might even be on the pro-genocide argument now, or he thinks that basically the totality of everything that happened, the Gaza Strip might constitute it as a genocide. I think he wrote an article on this like a month or so ago.
So wouldn't that be like a good debate for you to have then?
Yeah, but I don't even know who the debate is for. Like the pro-pallies are all lost. They don't even care about the facts of any of these issues. The super hardline Zionists, if you have talked to, those guys are lost on this issue.
Fuck doing debates for people. Just do it for your own knowledge.
I don't
and
care that much
understanding.
personally, though. Like, this is not like a huge thing in my life. Like, at this point, based on the totality of everything that happened, it's not inconceivable to me that like I could be moved on. Yeah, I would say that given the performance of the IDF in the Gaza Strip over the last few months, like maybe these actions are genocidal. Like, I may be moved on that, but this isn't like a huge. It's not a thing that I care that much about. It's not like moving the needle on me significantly. It's not like a huge amount of like knowledge or insight gained. And then if it's not interesting publicly, I don't know why I would even like. I'd rather just like read and learn about World War II. That'd be more interesting to me.
I'm trying to think who else have you. Well, I guess like even someone like IRI, the idea of being like, hey, listen, I want you to steelman this other side really, really hard, and they're probably smart enough to do it.
That's boring to me. I don't like these other sides on these debates are so stupid. Like I don't even do it anymore. And people are like steelman this from the Trump admin. I don't enjoy it. I think it's like, to me, these conversations, I know other people don't view it this way, but it's the equivalent to me of like steelman having an age of consent of 0. Like, why should we be able to fuck babies? And I was like, I don't really care. I don't want to do this. Like, it just feels so dumb. A lot of these political things that are coming up these days are so stupid. Like steelman how Mike Johnson doesn't know what Trump said on every international speech he's ever given and doesn't know anything about the current, like, it's so stupid. I understand what you're saying, like in theory, but like the politics stuff is so fucking stupid today. It's just very.
Is there
boring.
nothing that you're in? Is there nothing you're interested in actually debating on? Like, you know, I guess the question is there anything you're interested in debating on and potentially being wrong?
I mean, maybe, but like, there's no mainstream conversations happening about these things right now. Like the big conversations happening in the United States, in my mind, are very one-sided. Like it's kind of like having debates on like Ukraine versus Russia. I feel like that's just a very obvious and easy. One side is on the right, one side is on the wrong. And I feel like most of U.S. domestic politics right now is like that. Like there's a very obviously one side is on the right and one side is on the wrong. And then the conversations I have with these people, if you saw my debate with Sean, probably not, or my debate with that one fat MAGA dude, like these guys are biting bullets like faster than fucking high school kids in a U.S. shooting gallery. Like it's just like this guy's like, yeah, I think that if you're getting into a wrestling match with the cops and you've got a gun on you, that's probably a good reason to kill you. And it's like this guy is like just biting so many bullets. I'm like, this is crazy. There's no way. Like this doesn't even feel like an honest conversation. Yeah.
It is. You think there'll be another Iranian kerfuffle?
What does that mean? Like another like mass protest event?
No. Like, do you think the United States is going to do some fucking weaponry shit out there, bomb some stuff, or fucking, you know, abduct the supreme leader, or who the fuck knows? Seeing as we just shot down a drone or whatever.
I don't think so, but I mean, I would just look to Israel for that. If they feel threatened by Iran, or if they're pushing for actions in Iran, I think that would be the leading indicator right now for if the U.S. would do anything. I don't think Trump gives a fuck or cares at all about what's going on in the Middle East.
I will say, not that I don't feel like it'll ever be relevant. I realized I don't know anything about World War One. I know that like apparently someone shot some guy, and then everyone got really fucking butthurt about it. And was it Franz Ferdinand or something?
Yeah, but there was a lot of
band?
nothing ever happens because of one thing. There was a lot of pre-World War I tension and stuff between, and there were a ton of great empires that existed, and I couldn't tell you all the reasons leading up to it. But anybody that says World War I started because Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, it's not really true. It's like saying that, nothing is caused by a singular event like that. Like there's always stuff that leads up to it that's creating the conditions where it's like one thing could be ignited that could cause everybody to kind of jump into some bullshit. Yeah, but I don't think we do too much with World War I in school either.
One thing, I mean, it's probably not interesting to you. One thing I think that I'd like to know more about, but I feel like it's huge, in-depth thing, is what industries in America like are absolutely critical to keep going and are just heavily subsidized to do so, and to a level that we don't think about. Like a good example of this might be like farming, right? Like we know we have to have farmers, but like what influence and what goes into that, and how much does that cost us for those people to keep going, and how much of a like what happens if we try to make free market happen to that shit? Like I feel like there's a bunch of industries like this, like airlines. Like airlines I don't think can exist at all unless the government literally is fucking like holding them by the balls and taking them everywhere. Same thing for a lot of airports that are regional as well. Like I don't think those can exist. Just curious like how much of this shit is like already kind of socialism propped up a little bit. Like in
Maybe, yeah.
America.
Did you see the American Airlines reported a revenue fourth quarter, I think, of like it was like $10+ billion, and their profit was like 100 million.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm talking about. That's mental. That's like you are walking on a line that is like the finest of lines.
Yeah.
Who would start an airline?
Nobody.
Like,
Well, that's like the saying, right? If you want to become a millionaire, like the fastest way is to be a billionaire and buy an airline or something, right? Like airlines fail a lot. I mean, we know this in our lifetime. How many different airlines have come and gone? Yeah.
It must be fucking mental though. Like for people to keep doing it, they must look at the economics and be like, damn, the government really. I think the government must buy every seat that you send to certain places. Like, bumfuck Omaha, or sorry, not Omaha, but like some random town in Nebraska where there's a regional airport. I bet you every plane that leaves there, regardless if they sell a seat or not, they're probably like making money off of that just by itself.
Does the government do this? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, I think the government does shit like that. Like regional airports get money to exist, and then I think the government is literally paying money for the planes to go there as well, even if there's not enough demand for it.
Maybe. I don't know anything about
crazy.
regional airports. That might be the case. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Well,
Where are you moving to once shit starts really getting super fascist? Put any thought into it, or are you just gonna go down with the ship?
Washington or Oregon. Those are the two I'm looking at. I still figure out where I can take my guns to. And then when the Civil War happens, I'll be on their side, the West Coast side.
Ooh, I feel like they're not gonna survive, right? Because the problem is all the Dems are like, we're divided.
Well, for a Civil War, I feel like they'd be more united.
The
No?
new California Republic is already on a whole ass other side of the country, bro.
Yeah, but what's going to happen with the Republican side, where all of their states might be united, but all of their cities are full of Democrats? No?
Yeah, but Democrats are cucked. They don't do anything.
I mean, you say that, but then they also say Democrats are like the blacks that go out and kill everybody and commit the most crime and everything else. Like, I guess the question comes down to, do you want the black gang leaders on your side, or do you want the redneck white guys on your
here's the
side?
problem. I'm not even sure if the black gang leaders are going to be on the Democrat side.
They would
Right?
absolutely
They
be on
all-
the Democrat side. They would be.
They think like Trump is fucking cool and shit.
I don't think that's the broad take in the black community. There might be younger ones for like on these red pill podcasts, but I don't think most of them would skew Republican. Trump, I think, is a little bit unique just because of his celebritydom and everything. But
Have you heard of MAGA rap? You mean with that white guy with the dreads?
oh god, fuck, what the fuck was that guy's name? He's
Tom
Canadian,
McDonald.
of course.
Tom
yeah.
McDonald.
Canadian always.
Oh god, he's got some beats. There really is.
Wait, either you or Discord is lagging. As a Canadian, we do not claim Tom McDonald. Then revoke his citizenship. Fuck you.
That's a crucial point.
What is this? Daddy, what color is the sky? The sky is blue, son. Okay, Biga, what color is this? Blue. Correct. Oh, different qualia. Good one. What if all the Instagram reels are melting your attention span and that's why you're so bored recently? No, I mean, I can point to why everything is boring. You've seen the recent debates. Bro, this is the current administration is just mind rotting. Like, I mean, oh my God. We're going back to manufacturing voter fraud claims from 2020.
Oh, I was gonna ask why. I still don't get it.
It could be any number of things. It could be to make it so that every order that Biden gave is unconstitutional. It could be maybe Trump's like, well, if I won that election, then technically I'm on my third term, which means I could run for a vote. There's a billion. It could be to give the federal government an excuse to start having a more active role in administering elections, to give them a reason to deploy federal troops or to have more oversight during the midterms. There's a million reasons why, theoretically. What does this fucking loser want? Hold on.
Oh, my reasoning of why I said that they did it is that if they can claim that there's a huge amount of fraud that means like this is the pretext for why they're going to be like, okay, in all these states, we got to send in the feds to run the elections. Obviously, look at this.
Yeah.
They had election ballots under the floors. These fucking silly gooses.
Yeah, something like
That
that. Deej, what do you want?
All right.
First of all, what's your opinion on One Battle After Another?
I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Oh
I thought it
my
was pretty good.
god. You hated weapons and you liked
Oh.
One Battle After Another. Jesus. Okay, give me the most
Wait,
dog shit media
wait,
take of all
wait.
time.
No. Give me one way that Weapons is better than One Battle After Another without sounding retarded. And if you can't, you have to kill yourself. All right? If you can't, you have to kill yourself. I'm sorry. All right, give me one way.
Yeah, sure. It had a consistent set of characters that moved through a story that made sense conceptually and had like identifiable parts of character introduction, building action, like climax with bad character. Like it had a story arc that made sense. All the individual characters played into kind of like the theme of the movie, and it was just a good, solid horror movie, I guess. Yeah. Whereas One Battle After Another, I don't even know if I could fucking. Well, here. So like, if you ask me to explain weapons, right? It's been a while since I've seen this or whatever, but like weapons is a group of students disappears. There's like a crazy lady who can cast crazy magical spells to control people. And then that is a plot that is uncovered by a teacher of the class of students disappeared and a cop. And eventually in the end, they, with the help of one of the students, overcomes, beats the lady, and then they win. And it's like a horror movie. How would you explain like One Battle After Another? How would you explain that movie?
I would explain it as, well, I mean, conceptually, it's like fucking the lefty fucking militia group. It's the explainer beforehand, and it's kind of like the fucking 10, 20 years later or whatever, and there's just the aftermath of being a part of that group.
Really? The aftermath of being part of a lefty group is that your daughter has a different dad because that neo-Nazi guy was fetishly obsessed with your black wife and you never knew about it? That's like a lefty theme? That's a political theme?
Well, no, I didn't say it was about politics. I was saying it's the aftermath of the events that occurred in this universe. I didn't say it was like a political movie. It's literally just the aftermath of like the 10 years later, 20, I forget how much time it is. It's literally just the reoccurrence of the events that happen. I don't. It's like
okay. Yeah,
I don't understand.
I think you lost your own test, but okay, go ahead.
No. Just to be clear. Just to be clear. It's not like the most fucking complex movie of all time. You literally lost like fucking 50 IQ points the moment you watch that movie. I don't how can you not like understand what's going on in the movie? It's not like fucking complicated, hard to follow or anything like that.
I don't think it's hard to follow. I don't think it's complicated. I just think nothing really happens. There's just no real conflict. It's just kind of boring.
What do you mean nothing really happened? What?
What's like the most interesting thing in that movie to you?
Well, as in like
I can think of several
scene-wise,
things.
or
I can
like
think of
what?
several things in that movie that had the potential to be very interesting. None of them happen. So I want to know. You tell me what is like the most interesting thing in One Battle After Another to you?
I mean, this is gonna sound fucking retarded, but I think like the most like interesting thing is I don't have a thing like a scene that's like interesting is when the dojo guy is fucking hiding him in the,
Oh
the chase
my
or whatever, and he gets
god!
caught.
This is the
He
most
actually gets
Reddit
caught.
answer.
He gets caught.
Isn't it cool when that guy was so calm compared to There must have been a Redditor or a YouTuber reviewer that gave this answer. Because what is so interesting about that? I
think it's interesting because he doesn't get away. He gets caught. He fucking gets caught, and then he gets away again. All right, it's like a fucking. It's you don't expect him to actually get caught. I think that's kind of interesting. But just to be clear, just to be as clear as possible, Weapons is the most dog shit fucking Goosebumps fucking Animorphs fucking plot of all time. It's the most retarded bullshit. Like if you ask Zach
it's just
Cregger
like a
to explain
standard.
it-
It's
if
like
you-
a standard horror movie. How is it so horrible?
It's a standard Down syndrome. It's a standard Down syndrome movie. All right. It does what it sets out to do, which is to just be a movie that's about shit. All right. I don't understand how you can say that movie is better than One Battle After Another just because One Battle After Another isn't fucking.
Well, it's hard to compare cross genre, but I think that. I think
if you ask Zach Cregger, all right, Zach Cregger, he's a pretty smart guy, right? If you watch any of his interviews, right, he's a really smart guy. If you ask Zach Cregger to talk about his own movie, Zach Cregger himself cannot come up with any explanation on what his movie's about, why his movie's about, where his movie's about. He himself cannot do it. So I ask you, how do you think that's better than One Battle?
I don't know.
After
I can't speak for
After
him. I
Another?
don't know why he can't. I'm not saying it. Maybe he's fucking retarded. I don't know. He might be. Retarded people make good movies sometimes. Look at George Lucas.
Why didn't they expand on the radio thing more? Like the whole idea of like the two radios making a special sound when they come together. It just seems
There
like
are
such
so
a
many. Oh yeah, I thought that was going to be like a mega relevant plot device at some point. Did he use? He must have used that to find his daughter at the end, right? It wasn't just seeing the car drive by, right? I don't know. I thought there were so many potentially like interesting things that could have happened in that movie. Like I think there could have been some big, like obviously you've got, this is a huge theme that's been explored in the past by tons of different media, where it's like when you have a biological parent and then an adopted parent, and the adopted parent is more of a parent to you than the biological parent, like resolving that conflict I think is interesting. That never really happened in this movie. There were no scenes between Leo and his daughter discussing that. The daughter just hated the bio dad because the bio dad is a weird Nazi dude. I don't know, like everything is just weird there. There could have been some interesting resolution between the guy accepting like, why do I like this woman who is so contrary to every single aspect of my political ideology? Like that's never even explored. He just kind of does. He just does those things and then he does it and then he dies at the end. There could have been an interesting thing for like for there are people that are like coyotes that benefit from a system that's exploitative to their own people or people like them, like the Native American dude. I don't know why the guy backstabbed the people in the end. Was he just mad because of the one racist comment about fire, whatever, the whiskey comment by the one unit? But he must have heard so many comments like that in the past. That wasn't really explored at all.
Why was it so hypersexualized? Like
well, the hypersexualization can make sense if it's juxtaposing like this is a strong man who's into like these submissive sexual things with somebody who's like politically misaligned with him. But like they just don't. They kind of like introduce these things, but they don't really explore them all. And then everyone in chat is typing like they do explore them because there's like a thing on the scene about it, but not really. Like these are things that you have like a ton of scenes like exploring the like what does it mean to each of the characters? How do they react and respond to these events? Like how do they change or grow as character? But like none of this ever really fucking happens. It's just not, I don't know, it's just a cringe. It's just like a bunch of stuff happens and nobody really grows or changes that much. I don't think. Does anybody? There's no like interesting exploration of any of the things. What does it mean? Like what realizations do the characters? I don't know. I literally don't think anything.
Wait, okay. You're judging one battle after
shit movie.
Wait.
Even
You're
Civil
judging...
War, which I didn't even think was
God,
good.
bro.
Even Civil War, I think, was better than this.
I didn't watch
You're
it.
judging one battle after another by a completely different standard. I understand they're
Wait, completely different standard than what?
No,
stop! Don't start screaming. Hold on, wait. Completely different standard than what?
If you were, I could ask you the same.
No, I'm just asking you.
Weapons.
Okay, stop. Okay, I'm just clarifying your sentence. Completely different standard than what? Than weapons?
Yes.
Yes, because one is just a horror movie. Yeah, it's a different.
It's just a horror movie, so you can have depth and explanation of why things are the way they are in movies if it's horror.
Yeah, you watch different movies for different things. When I watch Iron Man, I'm not
Wait,
looking
I'm gonna ask the same question. So you can't have depth and explanation because it's horror. What about the genre of horror is different?
You could, but you watch the genre of horror for different things. Sometimes you just want to feel like spooked or scared, or maybe you want to.
So you just get spooked or scared. No. So weapons is good because it's spooky, scary. Oh, okay. No. I understand.
Do you think that every genre is appropriate to explore every theme? Or do you think that some genres are better suited to some themes than other genres? Like Taken, I wouldn't watch Taken to explore the relationship between a father and a daughter, even though that's kind of sort of part of the movie, but not really. It's an action flick. It's a revenge flick.
Wait. You wouldn't watch Taken for a fucking psychological breakdown of but I mean that does a decent job of like showing the relationship and the values of like a father and a daughter. I don't understand.
No,
why
it doesn't. Okay, if you think it is, this is just this is an IQ check on media. I don't know. It might most of you guys fail. If you think that Taken is a movie, do you think Taken is a movie that explores the relationship between a father and daughter?
Spooky horror movies. Spooky horror movies. It's the extent.
Yes, it's because it's.
All right.
Well, I don't understand how you don't understand this. Different genres like are better at exploring different themes. I wouldn't evaluate a knife based on how many people I could kill at once with it, the same way that I wouldn't evaluate AR-15 with how well I could cut a slice of steak with it. Different things are suited to exploring different things.
It's completely arbitrary. I don't
understand. It's not completely arbitrary. What are you talking? Why do genres exist at all if they're arbitrary? That's definitionally not arbitrary.
Genres exist because they have categories. You can't just say, it doesn't have to do anything because it's horror. Where are you getting that from?
This is a Pisco viewer.
Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that from? It's completely arbitrary. It's completely arbitrary. Why does the genre being horror make it so it doesn't have to do
it doesn't have to what?
It doesn't have to do the same things that other movies would have to. You can argue that it doesn't have to be the most fucking but why does it simply being horror and oh, it's spooky. Like I don't.
This is a
understand
piece
that.
of you're
horror
right.
movies. Horror movies can do
It's a
more
piece
than
of- it's a
just be
piece of
spooky
your-
scary. Horror
a piece
movies
of
can
your-
do more than just be spooky scary.
They could
right?
be,
I mean,
but
do you
different
disagree with that? Do you
genres,
define
disagree?
scary?
different
Define
genres
scary.
lend themselves towards the exploration of different themes. They just do. Hero movies like Marvel Slap or whatever lends itself to a type of like coming of age story for young men, more so than romance movies might not explore, you know, the concept of good versus evil, or, you know, revenge flicks like John Wick or Taken might not explore deep themes of like family relations between humans, or like just like different genres lend themselves towards exploring different themes better. That's why we have different types of books and songs and everything else, right? Like,
Okay, they lend themselves, but that doesn't give him an excuse to be fucking shallow. And all okay, here's
when
a
you
question.
say shallow,
What's a-
it
what-
depends.
what-
It depends.
what's
Stop. You
a
got to
theme?
stop doing
What
this.
is
I don't
it-
know if this. You
what
think
is-
it's I
what
do
is a
this,
theme?
or I don't know if you learn this from Biscuit. You got to
What
stop
is
doing
it- what
the.
is-
Wait, stop. Hold on. I'm serving meeting you. Okay, stop asking a question and then doing like the. Stop doing that. Holy shit, that's so fucking annoying. Okay.
You yap for 10 billion minutes. I respond
I'm not.
like you're
I
on,
talk
you're
quickly
mute,
and I'm not
okay,
yapping a
okay,
ton.
okay.
You're asking a question and then you go off to a totally different thing and you scream before we can even address the last thing you just said. Okay. So
Okay, thank you.
a
thank
thing
you.
being
No,
shallow.
thank you. No, thank you.
A thing being shallow in some
No,
areas.
no, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. I'm good. Jesus.
That guy 100% is watching Pisco nonstop, 24/7 on repeat. Like when he's in the shower, he's putting on like the best debates of Pisco of all time. Like I would bet my life on it. He's a fucking tier 5 super chatter.
Hold on. Do we know anything happening right now with Elijah Schaefer? What do you want, Hussein?
I was just gonna talk to Dan about the World War I thing. If it's now,
Talk about the World of War thing? The what?
The World War What? The
Oh,
World
Oh,
War
no,
I.
fuck it. We'll do it
actually
later.
care.
I have a
No,
million
we
videos
don't.
I need to cover. I need to kick Dan out of here soon, even. So,
I don't even
Okay.
care about World
Much
War
love,
One.
bro.
okay, love you.
Not too soon though.
These are his deleted posts. I have a horrible suspicion that Elijah Schiffer has killed his family with the gun he claims is stolen. I feel sick. Tell me I'm reading this wrong. Is there any news about this? Elijah Schiffer tweeted and I guess deleted this. I do not know where my wife and kids are and I cannot get a hold of them. They are filed as missing persons. They have gone missing. Last enforcement confirmed someone in my household set me up. They planted drugs and said I was a criminal. This will be a public trial by the FBI. I am a victim of serious targeted felony crimes. I am not suicidal. They have kidnapped my family. They have stolen my money. I will bring justice. I need the public to know. I'm in Virginia. The government is aware. I believe the FBI is trying to destroy my life and kill me. My stolen car was recovered by U.S. Customs. I'm the victim of a serious set of felonies, including gun theft. Someone from my inner circle is involved. This is an international probe. Do you think he killed his family?
Over under? I'd give you 30% odds. You want to take that bet?
No, I have no idea.
I don't either. That's why I said 30%.
Go bet, Mr. Moon. What are the alternatives? I have no idea. Weird. Sounds like schizophrenia. Could be that too, maybe?
All right, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Do not forget about what do we got? Tectone, Turkey Tom.
Yeah, I'm getting there. As soon as I get through these, I can get to it, yeah.
That's very rude.
Good.
I'll leave now.
Be careful. Love you.
That's a crucial point. I wanted to get into that. So you think that we have crossed some threshold
What is this?
where things that are understandable, we can understand in some sense.
Yes, I think we have, and I think I have a watertight argument for that. But the
Okay, some other day. What is this?
Reporting illegal immigrant. I have my own hotline for reporting illegal immigrants, and people call it thinking that it's legitimate. I talked to a kindergarten teacher that wants to deport the parents of a kindergartner at her school. And it looks like they have a child who was born in New York, which makes them an American citizen.
Yeah.
So we're looking to deport the parents and leave the child.
Right. Like I said, I don't know if they're here illegally. I just think it's odd, you know? It's very odd.
What did you say was odd?
Is this the same guy that we watched before who had this line set up where somebody was calling to report their neighbors as like illegals because they came in to their driveway? I don't even remember. It was something fucking retarded. Before you start catching up, were you doing events during your break or just chilling? Anything you can tease for the future? No, I need to stop saying I'm doing anything before it comes out, because every time I mention anything, anytime I come back from it, there's a million questions like, how did this go? How did this go? And it's like, I don't know, watch it when it comes out. So no, I did nothing. I went and I fucked your mom for 3 days.
It's just sad for them to even be here. Like, I'm a teacher at a school. Okay, I know schools. I know the whole law about schools. I mean, they seem like nice people or whatever, but I looked them up in our files, and I was like, oh, she was born in Honduras, and he's born in El Salvador. So right there, it's like, okay, maybe I'm on the right path. You know, they drop off their kid every day.
So their kid is their kid a student at your school?
Yes, yes,
One of your
kindergarten.
Okay, so now you want to get his parents deported?
Well, I'm just saying, if they're taking up resources from our county,
Okay.
I'm not into illegal people being here.
I mean, if the son's in kindergarten, what, he's 6 or 7,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he's probably like 5 or 6.
And they was born in New York, so that means assuming like they've been in America for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna go ahead and just remove them.
Are you like questioning that, or what do you know?
Yeah. So I know I'm just writing this down for my own
Okay.
personal notes, and my supervisor
Okay.
teaches at school wants kindergarten child's parents.
Do we know if his videos
Maybe
are
not
real
terrible.
or
Maybe
staged? I mean, how can we know that? I have no idea. Yeah, they could be staged.
terrible.
Who knows? Who knows? Okay.
I covered this.
Follow up on elections. The president says that he wants Republicans to nationalize elections. Do you agree with him? And do you have confidence in how elections are conducted right now, heading into the midterm?
We have thoughtful debate about our election system every election cycle and sometimes in between. We know it's in our system. The states have been in charge of administering their elections. What you're hearing from the president is his frustration.
Destiny, most movies can explore most topics, though. There are horror movies that explore grief, for example, or family relationships. Same as there are drama movies that explore what comedy is. It depends on what the movie is about and what it is trying to explore, and if it does it successfully. Fuck. I need that one thing on repeat. There's just like a... I need to find a different word than IQ check because it sounds mean. But like, there's a guy who explains this. It's like, if you tell somebody most women are shorter than most men, right? And their response is, well, I know a woman who's really tall. This is retarded. And you should just not talk to this person about things, okay? Yes, most movies can explore most themes. Sure, it's possible, right? But generally speaking, some genres are better suited to exploring some themes than other genres. I don't know how anybody could disagree with that statement. But maybe everything is everything and anything can be anything and everything everywhere all at once in my cock and my asshole, okay?
About the lack of some of the blue states, frankly, of enforcing these things and making...
Okay.
Follow up on elections. The president says that he wants Republicans to nationalize elections. Do you agree with him? And do you have confidence in how elections are conducted right now, heading into the midterm?
We have thoughtful debate about our election system every election cycle and sometimes in between. We know it's in our system. The states have been in charge of administering their elections. What you're hearing from the president is his frustration about the lack of some of the blue states, frankly, of enforcing these things and making sure that they are free and fair elections. We need constant improvement on that front. I don't know what the ultimate solution is going to be. I'm not going to get ahead of the negotiations here, but I think that is something that's going to be a continuing theme here. It's something that we'll continue to push, and we hope the governors will insist upon that same thing as well. In some of the states, like in California, for example, I mean, they hold the elections open for weeks after Election Day. That's just one thing that bothers so many people. We had 3 House Republican candidates who were ahead on Election Day in the last election cycle. And every time a new tranche of ballots came in, they just magically whittled away until their leads were lost. And no series of ballots that were counted after Election Day were...
Wait, is he talking 2024 or 2020? Sorry.
They hold the elections open for weeks after Election Day. That's just one thing that bothers so many people. We had 3 House Republicans...
Also, when he says hold the election open for weeks, is he talking about the fact that if your ballot arrives after the election day, but it's postmarked before on the election day, they're still counted? Is he talking about that? Are there any states that actually have it so you can vote after election day? Because if not, he should just be, I can't say it on YouTube.
Republican candidates who were ahead on Election Day in the last election cycle. And every time a new tranche of ballots came in, they just magically whittled away. And
by the way, if you're European or if you're an American retard and you're wondering, why don't we have voter ID? Europeans have voter ID. Or if you're European, you're like, why don't Americans have voter ID? I don't understand, right? The reality is like, we probably should, we probably could. It probably wouldn't be that hard to implement. But the types of people that want to talk about it are always bad faith, demonic retards like this guy who clearly don't give a fuck about the integrity of an election system. They just want to surgically target the types of votes that they think would go against them and get rid of them. That's why we don't have it. It's because these conversations are held hostage by evil demons like Mike Johnson, right? They hate mail-in voting. They hate it because they think it favors Democrats after COVID. That's the only reason why he's talking about this. So when these are the only people that want to talk about like voter ID, they don't give a fuck about how secure an election is. They just want to shore up how many elections did they investigate besides the 7 swing states? Seems like they didn't give a fuck about any other elections in 2020. I don't know for 2024. Oh, I don't think there was any election fraud in 2020. Or they might have said there was election fraud then because they said there's always election fraud. Trump's been claiming election fraud since 2012. He just says it all the time. Maybe there always is unprecedented huge election fraud that's just never been discovered anywhere in the United States on the levels anywhere near what these guys are saying. Who knows?
If ballots came in, they just magically whittled away until their leads were lost. And no series of ballots that were counted after Election Day were our candidates ahead on any of those counts. It looks on its face to be fraudulent. Can I prove that? No, because it happened so far upstream. But we need more confidence in the American people in the election system. And
what more do we need? Like, you guys have been searching for fraud for fucking ever and you can't fucking find any. So it seems like whatever we're doing right now seems to be working. It's outsmarting you retards.
Essential, and everybody, no matter what party you're in, should agree with that. The mass mailing of paper ballots or mail-in ballots and all the other irregular.
Have you got any answer from YouTube about your channel being demonetized? Nope. I'm just going to assume, I said I would give it till the 30th and then pass out. I'm just going to assume it's going to be perma-demonetized, and then I'm just going to make business plans based on that, basically. I think I have a meeting tomorrow or the day after with my chief operations officer. We'll figure out how I want to make money instead. But my assumption is just that maybe in some number of months or once the political situation changes, or who knows. But yeah, it's just sitting on the thing. So good times.
Irregularities that have haunted us over the last couple of cycles, we need to tighten that up. Now, the red states have done a lot of good work in that front, but it's the blue states that I'm frankly concerned about. So we'll see how the law is modified and what's.
Should we cover the motion to submit? Shut the fuck up. That was not ruled on. Oh, are you talking about my motion for summary judgment? I probably won't read it. It's just going to be a basic. I'm pretty sure our MSJ is basically a rehash of the motion to dismiss with a few things added about Pixie's ex-boyfriend.
Change, but I hope we can get consensus to get that done.
Fucking loser. I hate this fucking guy. What is this?
He went from like nothing to 141,000. I thought he was view botting. I thought, that's my opinion, that he himself.
This guy thought that you were view botting. 666 views. Why are you even linking me this?
Destiny right now.
Do I even know this guy?
I don't want to get past like one-ish because I know you guys have somewhere else to be. This is our good friend Destiny, who maybe lawsuit will do. I covered this. He went from like nothing to 141,000. I thought he was view botting. I thought, that's my opinion, that he himself was view botting. There was a clip where he's like doing something weird, and then suddenly the number gets like astronomical, and he doesn't even address it. He does, like you know that he doesn't even address, like if somebody view botted us, right? I would be like, oh cool, yeah, we're doing well, and I'm like, hey guys, we're doing so good right now, yeah. And then if our chat like remained the same and I had some type of indicator that I was being view botted because I did this more, I would be like, oh shit, guys, we're getting view botted. Well, who did they view botting? We would still stay live. I would stay live just to see how big the number could get, right? I wouldn't like, oh guys, exit. And I would not. I watch a lot of this whatnot where people scam people for Pokemon packs. They do like fake Pokemon pack rips, like they'll do like resealed Pokemon packs and stuff. As soon as somebody gets caught on whatnot, oh, this is resealed. Oh my god, right? They don't address it and they shut off.
You did address it, no? I think I did the second day, but I don't address things like this because I don't want to give attention to the people doing it. This is like streamer 101, but this guy's either just hasn't been streaming long or doesn't. I guess he's just low IQ. I'm sorry, that's my go-to now. I hate everybody, dude.
Off the stream. So I've seen what a guilty person does over and over again. They will sell you a pack of Pokemon cards that is sealed. These are
like, yes, in my 16 years of streaming, now I have finally decided, you know what? I'm going to embrace the ViewBot. And for my first ViewBot, I'm going to view about 140,000 viewers. You got me.
Not sealed Pokemon cards. Oh, jeez. Oh, they'll sell you a pack of this. They'll have done something. They split the bottom of it. Then they split the card. And then if they get caught, if they ever get caught, the live stream ends immediately. They don't address it. They don't acknowledge it. They just end the live stream and start a new one and hope that no one screenshotted it. So I believe it is my opinion that Destiny indeed is viewbotting, because at the end of the day, I mean, if someone viewbotted my stream, how would I personally react? I would be curious. I'd be like, oh wow, someone viewbotted our stream. That's really interesting, right? Yeah, there are hilarious compilations, Alex, of these people on this
Yeah, but then if I don't even need to respond. It's fucking retarded.
Website called Whatnot. Whenever they
Don't you think the person behind the ViewBot is trying to harm your chances of remonetization? I have no idea. Maybe not. I feel like the most botting-like behavior I've seen recently, I feel like it's from Asmongold's crowd. Like, wasn't there, when they shut all the ViewBots down on Twitch, wasn't some percentage of his audience ViewBotted, plus the weird behavior on LSF? So I don't know if one of them would view about me. I don't know if a lefty who hates me would view about me, or someone on KB Farms, or someone from Just Deal's Discord server would view about me. I have no idea.
get caught in a scam,
but I mean, also, it just happened again, like an hour ago when I had 27,000 viewers. Like, that was my guess is that was a 20,000 viewer ViewBot applied, or 15 to 20,000 viewer bot. I don't know why. It's not like these people ever make themselves known. So
scam, and they're like, oh, and then they turn off the stream, never address it, and then a week later they come back, right? This is interesting, Goosey, because he's demonetized. So what is the point of him paying all? I assume this costs him a lot of money.
Oh, is this guy a lawyer? Oh, lawyer. Oh, that explains why he's fucking retarded. Every lawyer that becomes whatever, well, most of them, sorry, not everyone. These guys are always fucking retarded. I don't know what it is about this profession, but Jesus Christ, when these guys go to YouTube, they all just lose their fucking minds.
To do this, but so that's Destiny. We're gonna get to Hassan later. I want to get to this guy.
The H3H3 crowd posts his stuff. Any single person, the H3H3 crowd loved the legal mindset for a while because he was anybody that is nice to Ethan, they obsess over him and they say they're cool. And then as soon as they're not nice to Ethan, then they turn on the guy and they say he's horrible, basically, is how the H3H3 crowd evaluate people. Because they were sucking off that, legal mindset guy for a while just because he was nice to, or because he was attacking Caseytron, but.
Oh, this is a vibe check. So, jeez. So I do have to say this. This is probably the worst. Okay, imagine Tectone is in court, and the judge is asking, Tectone, do you have anything to say? We're not vibing right now, Judge. I don't get it, man. Why aren't we vibing? Didn't you see my 200 pages of Twitter? Just imagine this. Just imagine how silly this would be as a defense legally. That you just didn't vibe check with the judge. A civil case is essentially a vibe check to see where they see. How are these guys vibed? Unfortunately,
Well, I don't think that was the defense he used in court, no.
I run my mouth way too much.
Did you see your Reddit mods claiming Asmongold was botting threads on your sub? Oh, I haven't seen that.
Imagine every civil lawsuit, from real estate to even eBay, right? People are suing over Pokemon cards right now. And instead of looking at the evidence, you're just going to look at the two people, and whoever has the best vibes wins the civil lawsuit. This is why Legal Mindset and his cronies are so dangerous. They've taken the legal justice system, and made it a laughing stock. And I hate that. I had to give up a fuck ton to be here today, okay? Many of you know I have the Pokemon page. I should be working on the Pokemon page because we're doing something cool, mystery free. Everything I do on the Pokemon page is free. When you enter a live stream, every pack I give you is free. I just ask you for the shipping, right? Because sometimes you're living in like Israel. Actually, two of the winners, the same winner was in Israel, and I finally found out how much money it costs to send something to Israel, and it is very expensive. But some of them are Norway and so on. They're kind of like you guys are all over the place. So whenever they win a pack or something, and there's
Okay, I don't care about this guy. I don't know why I was like this. Stop trying to troll me.
Together as my health got worse.
Is he better? Did he survive? Oh,
Nice.
This was what I was looking for earlier. This was you in chat. Whoever asked me that question. Can't all genres do all things? You're who he's
It's
describing.
a fast way to test someone's ability to think abstractly. Make a generalized statement about a group, something factual and based on stats, such as Asian men are shorter on average. Now, what's the response? If they say anything like, not all Asian men are short, or I know a tall Asian guy, you're not dealing with disagreement, you're dealing with reasoning failure, okay? The statement was about averages and not individuals, distributions, not anecdotes, okay? And psychology calls this concrete thinking. When someone cannot separate population level trends from individual exceptions, they default to personal stories. And this is not insight, it is a lack of abstract reasoning, okay? And pointing out an exception does not invalidate a trend. It just proves you do not understand how statistics work. This is called ignoring base rates. It's a well-documented cognitive error, okay? And here's the important part. Once someone collapses a statistical idea into an emotional or anecdotal rebuttal, explaining it doesn't help, okay? They are operating on a different level of thought. You're referring to patterns. They're talking about people they know, okay? This is different conversations, right? And this is not about being rude or offensive. It's about whether someone can think beyond the literal and understand aggregates, okay? Averages describe tendencies and not guarantees. Exceptions do not disprove the rules. And the moment someone can't grasp that, you've learned that that is exactly how far the conversations will go. Here's a fast way to test someone's ability to think abstractly. Make a generalized statement about a group, something factual and based on stats, such as, Asian men are shorter on average. Now, what's the response? If they say anything like, not all Asian men are short, or I know a tall Asian guy, you're not dealing with disagreement.
I hope that played 2 or 3 times. I know YMS disagrees with me in one battle after another. I don't care. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not doing full fucking movie reviews right now, okay? Maybe in the future, all right? Jesus Christ. Additional emails also reveal Jeffrey Epstein's advisors were talking to former Activision CEO Bobby Kotick about microtransactions in Call of Duty back in 2013. Jeffrey Epstein made microtransactions? U.S. steel production increases. Total U.S. steel production. Megatons 2024 versus 2025. From 80.8 to 81.8. That's an amazing y-axis. Nice. Based. Jesus.
I have not heard back yet from my congressman about why he does not support uncapping.
The sharpness on this camera or whatever filter effect here is super harsh. It's way too brutal.
Just an update, I have not heard back yet from my congressman about why he does not support uncapping the U.S. House of Representatives. I've been writing him every day for nearly a month now. I'm getting no response from my congressman.
Hello, this is Congressman Tracy Mann. If you're a resident of the Big First District wishing to express your thoughts or concerns, please press 1.
This is Matt Beat, and I have been trying to reach you.
It's metric tons, not megatons. Okay.
I've emailed you the past 29 days to see if I can get one reason why you currently do not support uncapping the House of Representatives. So I'm just wanting clarity on this issue. If you could please call me.
YouTube auto AI upscales people's videos without permission out sucks. Does the YouTube auto AI upscaling really look like that? I feel like that's probably not true. I'm sure it auto upscales, but that sharpness is very, very, very harsh on that. That looks really bad. Only in the shorts from what I can tell. Based. Jesus. Out, asking libtards, what is a woman? Referring to her gender. In, asking rightoids, what is a woman? Referring to her age. Hotch is locked the fuck in.
Okay, other smart people.
Okay, there you condemn Jeffrey Epstein, yes or no, Hutch?
I do. Yeah, but if he had a D next to his name and he was running for a
oh my God.
I would probably vote for him. I'm just saying.
King.
Wild.
Not kidding.
Wild.
Not a joke.
King. What is this? Vosh being blackpilled. This is like the long
that
time.
began, give or take, 200 years ago, right? It's brought about some great gains, but there are problems, okay? Liberalism as an ideology is incompatible with capitalism. A system where enormous amounts of power are accrued by very, very few cannot be compatible with democracy. And they have chosen one over the other, and we know which one they have chosen. Because every day they do things that erode liberalism and preserve the corporate oligarchy. Like, we know which side they've taken. When they take steps to work against the corporate oligarchy, it's always in some banal reformist way. Like, no, that's too much too fast. But they never really push back, not hard at least. They're only interested in a stable erosion of democracy. You know, they don't really care about like the actual reclaiming of lost territory. I think that the powers that be have more or less agreed that this experiment is on its way out, and what they need to do is build the economic, political, and social conditions in the United States and in other first world countries that would allow.
The only way we will make progress in this country is going to be if when we figure out how to actually accurately diagnose problems, and we don't just blame some epic class of people that we don't like, lay billionaires or lay capitalists or lay fucking pedophiles or whatever the fuck else. One day we'll get there, or not. Who knows? Maybe not. Whatever.
Thank you for coming. We had some fun. I'm glad you felt like you could say what you wanted to say.
America would be a better place if people who think like you just all roped. But otherwise, it was
Solid, solid, glowing endorsement.
Okay. Based on something. Hassan clip.
Complain about their union brethren being super right wing and super reactionary and voting for Donald Trump, and obviously the alternative is the Democrats, which is also a liberal party that's also a bourgeois party, and they're not necessarily representing their interests either. But
What do you mean not necessarily?
I mean they're not
They
representing
treat
their
them like deplorables. Remember?
Yeah, that's
Do you
true.
remember Hillary?
Yeah, no, for sure. but like there is an opportunity there.
Donald Trump didn't really have to try very hard to become president of the United States.
No.
Can you tell the country by the buzz frequency? I believe you can, right? 60 hertz is the buzz frequency for the United States, and I think other places are 50. I don't know if it has to do with voltage or what, but
He had the Clintons and the Obamas doing all his work.
I feel like it's higher. Like this isn't an American buzz. It's not, right? Hold on. It's the AC frequency. Like this one is lower. This is a 50 hertz one, right? Because it's in some other country.
His work for him.
Yeah, and I don't.
I think. Wait.
I mean, even with Kamala Harris.
No, it's definitely right. Hold on.
Harris too. And I don't. I mean.
I think it's 50. I think it's 50.
Enough. I also
stop. I wasn't watching. I was watching Hassan.
To try very hard to become president of the United States.
No.
He had the Clintons and the Obamas doing all his work for him.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, even with Kamala Harris too. Oh
What do you mean?
God.
Especially
Kamala Harris. It was disastrous, and I just kept yelling at them. I went to the DNC. I talked to them in person. I was like, "What are
The whole Democratic Party.
you guys doing?
What are you guys doing? Why aren't you nominating a leftist? Why aren't you nominating a socialist?
Like this is a disaster."
Hassan, why did you go to the
You get in there and make it about Palestine.
The DNC want Trump to be in the presidency if the alternative is somebody like Mamdani or, our friend Bernie.
Yeah.
They actively chose Trump in 2015-16 over Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
They knew what they were doing.
Yanis was in the failed Greek socialist government for like 6 months before he got kicked out for being too retarded economically, even for socialists. Is that true? I don't know anything about him, but... Jesus.
DNS. It always works great for me. My network never goes down because I use static routing. The Earth is flat, and so is my enormous OSPF-LSDB. I turn off spanning tree because it is socialist. 32 loopbacks everywhere and no hackers can touch me. My Ethernet cables are so good, they're Cat6-7. That's 1.59 terahertz, idiots. I only use half duplex because that's the only way to have polite conversation. Latency is a myth invented by...
This is epic, and if you don't think it's epic, it's just because you don't know all the stuff that we know about the internet, guys, okay?
Have you thought of running in elections?
No.
Well, why not?
Because
look, it's a horrible thing to do. I've done.
The answer is because there's no money and there's no clout. That's his answer. There is a good answer to this, but I don't know if Hassan, he should have an answer prepared for this. He might have even given in the past. The good answer for this is that's just not where his particular talents are suited, right? That's my answer, right? I don't know if I would be necessarily as impactful as an election running person. That's just not what I excel at.
Because look, it's a horrible thing to do. I've done it. I can confirm that it sucks.
Yeah.
Big time. But there's a job. Someone's going to do it.
I know, but
these people have to vote for someone. What are you going to say to them when the midterms come?
Well,
don't vote.
No, of course not.
Well,
but I have
who they going to vote for? The Democrat who wants to.
Well, I have my people. That's why I'm.
Okay, you have your people, but not everywhere.
That's true. But my goal is to try to
And why should these people have their lives destroyed by being elected and not yours?
Well, it's not even about
God, he's such a himbo. He's so fucking stupid. Oh God, it's so embarrassing. Gee, okay.
My life.
He's trying to give an answer that sounds smart while also navigating the fact that he inhabits mutually exclusive positions at different times because he wants to do propaganda for liberals to convert them into more radical things, but he's trying to get away from that. I think as of recently, he's trying to be more like the liberal guy. Now that Mamdani is elected, he wants to take credit for that election and then pretend that he's cool with the Democrats because he knows that they're probably going to win a lot of their elections in the midterms, and he wants to be on the cool team or whatever. It's just so fucking cringe.
Being destroyed necessarily, but because my life gets destroyed all the time doing what I'm doing anyway. I mean,
come on.
No,
gets destroyed. Yeah, seriously, come on, gets destroyed. You're making money from one of the largest corporations on the planet. By market cap, what is Amazon? What number? What rank? Your life is destroyed? This is the most bougie champagne socialist statement in the world. My life is destroyed. By the way, I just came back from an all expenses paid trip to China, and I'm giving a speech in Qatar in a few days, or I don't know how long ago this was. Really? Your life is destroyed?
No, I'm able to.
You're having fun here.
No, I know, but I'm able to overcome it regardless because I have built.
Overcome it?
This resilient base of support.
You haven't built anything, bro. If you got banned from Twitch, your life would be fucking over. Maybe he could make it on YouTube. If he got banned from those two platforms, he'd be gone. If he got the Fuentes treatment, if he got the Destiny treatment, he would rope immediately. Oh, this is in Qatar? Okay, nice.
And I have ways of working around it. I get banned on Twitch. I go to.
What do you work around? You make money from Twitch, and I think YouTube. Assuming you run those channels, you make money from the two of the largest corporations in America. What are you working around? What?
YouTube. But my point is, there's a finite amount of time and energy and effort that I can spend on this, and I feel like this is how I can maximize my output.
Sure.
Doing agitative propaganda, I think, and also. Creating a community that is then going out and participating in their own local elections, as many people in my community have already, to success.
At some point, you have to go to graduate to the level where
you're doing actual work. Yes, yeah, more than just making a fuck ton of money on YouTube and Twitch.
Take their voice and you put it into some kind of.
Say you did it with Mamdani. That'll make me come. Please say you did it. I did that with Mamdani, New York.
Assembly. Some kind of Congress, maybe a state one, maybe a federal one.
I don't know. I know a guy.
Get ready.
I know a guy. His name is Cenk Uygur. He tried to do that and he failed spectacularly. So
now you quit?
Failure is okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is why I respect people like Cenk, as much as I hate him and his politics now, infinitely more than people like Hassan. Hassan is very much like Donald Trump here, and that it's the reason why somebody said he's dual streaming. Did he finally get on that dual stream train? Finally? Because if so, congratulations, taking 5 years to do it. Donald Trump is too much of a coward to support something that's not a 99% success. That's why Donald Trump was fucking dicks out for Netanyahu and then, hightailed it out of fucking Ukraine. And he didn't want to risk anything there because he doesn't know if it's a surefire thing. Donald Trump only takes 100% won battles. That's it. And Hassan is the same. Hassan will never do anything adventurous or anything that, has a risk of failure. I don't know if it was Hassan or somebody else was attacking me on Twitter for my, compare Mamdani to the guy that Destiny supported in Omaha. We were the only thing that was helping that guy's campaign. We were his entire canvassing operation. And did a lot of behind the scenes stuff for him too. And the guy came in, this was a primary where he entered at 0%. Nobody even knew who this guy was. I would much rather, well, not much rather, but I think it's more admirable to put your efforts towards things like that, where success isn't guaranteed or even low, than just backing the most mainstream popular things ever and never throwing your voice behind anything else ever. That's just so cowardly to me. And Hassan is like that. He's way too afraid to try something that could fail you. Cenk took a big risk when he ran for that primary, and people are going to make fun of him. I think I even make fun of him sometimes for how horribly he performed. But hey, at least he tried. He was willing to throw his hat in the ring for it.
I mean, in 1905, the first Russian Revolution failed, and it gave us Sergei Eisenstein's magnificent movie, The Battleship Potemkin, which was an important, first step towards the real thing.
Honestly, we could get Hassan in Congress easily. Oh my God. Do you think Gudgel could have won if you didn't get shafted? I don't know, maybe. It would have been a fight. I mean, like I said, he came in as a super underdog for that. Would depend on a lot of things. Who knows? I don't think it was me. I'm not attacking Gudgel either. I don't think it was me getting shafted that was the problem. I think it was the way that Gudgel responded to it, which was the thing I didn't consider beforehand, is that like, are you ready to like do politics? Because it can get very brutal. Rather than seizing on the publicity around that, they kind of folded immediately. I say that sounds all negatively loaded, but this guy was like a super nice dude who's been loved by everybody in his life because he did a lot of like nice, cool shit. He seemed like a really lovable guy. And then he had people calling him, like trying to threaten his teaching license. Like, I just don't think he was ready for how brutal the political scene was. Vaush thinks the loneliness epidemic is about people being addicted to their phones and not touching grass, but he's too privileged to understand that the real reason people aren't going outside anymore is because it's way too expensive. People aren't socializing less because they're phone addicts or they're antisocial or any of the bourgeois rich-splaining you can usually expect from Vaush. Damn, oh my God. This is bait? Are you saying this is bait because it's actually bait, or you're saying it's bait because it's retarded and you can't believe anything is ever written on the internet that's stupid? Never mind. I think this is actually bait. If you weren't such an out-of-touch wealthy streamer, he'd know that the real problem was people don't go outside because the economy is fucked and everything's gotten too expensive and people have been priced out as a result. To give an example, I went on a date the other day with a chick I met on Tinder. Here's a breakdown of the date and how much everything cost. Dinner. First, it took a long time to even pick out a place to eat. She kept suggesting going somewhere casual, like a fast food place, but I thought that would be pretty lame for a date. Eventually, we decided on an all-you-can-eat sushi place. You know how much that was? $35 per person. I didn't want to tip, but my date insisted, since she said not tipping would only hurt the waitress, and put down the tip as 20%. So that's $84 just for one dinner. I don't even really like sushi that much. I just got the teriyaki chicken off the kids menu. This is a troll. Okay, it's a meme post, right? We went to see the new Iron Lung movie. The tickets were $14 each after tax. Then we had to get snacks, 2 large drinks, red vines, and 2 large popcorns. We got 2 popcorns because I didn't want her to keep reaching over to grab some because that's fucking annoying. That was $35. Gas. Okay, good meme. Holy shit. Read the last paragraph. Northern Lion says that women love sushi. Do you agree with this brand heuristic? Yes. Women love sushi so much that even when they hate fish, they'll love sushi. They're like, oh, I get cucumber sushi. I don't know why, but it's hidden OP. That's like, yeah, that's a stealth tech, okay, but it's good. So I told her she was dumb as shit and kicked out of my car. $502 for a date, and there wanted to be a second one. Maybe Vaush can afford to throw money around like that, but I and most normal people like me can't. I wonder if people just prefer to stay home for the weekend. Based. I just saw this. The New Yorker's art department never misses. Now I do a male one. Men always love char grilling things, even if they are vegan, question mark? I feel like everybody should love char grilling things, no? Why do you think Vaush and Hassan are at opposite ends? Vaush is black-pilled if take JD over Newsom, and Hassan is trying to realign a bit. Well, Vaush is literally still on his fortress arc. I think he's just there forever. I think Vaush doesn't give a fuck who he's working with or what he's doing. He's content. He probably makes a lot of money doing his live streaming stuff. I think all of his stuff is still monetized. He just sits and he does his thing, and he probably enjoys it. Vaush is probably like super comfortable, would be my guess. Whereas Hassan like needs to be building clout and moving in a positive direction, or else he feels like he's losing ground. Voshvi is complaining about the Fortress arc. Yeah, I see. I still get posts that pop up on my Reddit app from Vosh's sub, and a lot of people in his thing are kind of annoyed about him not expanding his stuff, but I don't know if he'll change it or not. He's probably really comfortable where he's at. I don't think he's had any crazy drama or anything in like a year or more now. I don't know if you've moved on, but I heard a lot of misrepresentations about AI cognition. Don't care. Tomorrow. We'll do it later. Comparing myself to my girlfriend's ex. Drew. Okay. These are going on the to watch section. You said in a previous stream that Dems shouldn't bother wasting time appealing to far left people because they shouldn't be considered part of the party, and Dems should focus on their own base instead. But why would they waste time focusing on people that would already vote for them no matter what? What? Because they don't vote for them. It's about voter turnout. It's about having a stronger positive representation of your party rather than just like weakly responding to everything. We need to have like stronger pillars of the Democratic Party standing for things rather than just like being tepidly reactionary to Trump. What's going to happen to chat tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know if I will. I don't want to have like a 27-year debate on AI. I don't care that much about the topic, okay? If you want to hop in and say something for like 2 minutes, then do it tomorrow when I start my stream at 1 p.m. I don't know, but I don't care that much. I have a feeling it's going to like explode out into like a huge debate and stuff that, and it's the thing that I just don't care much about. Have you heard about the paper that mathematically proved we're not living in a simulation? The guy you kicked out from Discord recently mentioned it. I didn't kick him out. He left because we were done with the conversation. And I haven't looked into it as much. So, can you react to the Isaiah Martin Jubilee debate? Yes, after I watch the 5 other videos I have queued up in 3 weeks. Okay. Okay. What? I can't ask chat this. I should have had this prepared. Is there like a public filing for all the Tectone court documents? Didn't someone send it to you? Miskiff sent me a bunch, but I don't know. How much? I don't know if these are all of them or not. What? Downloads? Why is this empty? You see Emeru explaining why she hasn't said anything about Tectone or Lucari. Nope.
Bro, I almost didn't go live today because I was so fucking tilted earlier today. Oh my fucking god, but I feel fine now, honestly. Yo, Mary Myrdro, thank you for the 18 months. It was seeing that fucking chorm. Like, it pisses me off, but it's like hard to think about anything else. Why tilted? I'm like still debating if like I actually want to like talk about this stuff and fully give attention to it, but so you guys know how like I never really like talk about like personal stuff or like drama on stream at all unless it's like I kind of like have to for like a certain point. Well, I would say that like for the most part doing that has only pros. Like I've never really regretted choosing to be that kind of content creator, but there is one con that when you don't say things or like don't like talk about super personal stuff all the time or like your feelings about certain things, it leaves people room to like lie and make shit up, and it's so fucking annoying. But I'm like, I don't think normal people really like It's like who fucking cares? Like I don't know. No one's that worried about.
Okay, I don't know and I don't care. Okay. These are docs that Miskiff sent me a long time ago, but I don't know if all of these are censored or not. The only reason I'm going over this is for two things, and I don't know how true these things are. I should verify the authenticity of both these things first, actually. The first is because, well, actually, no, I mean, we've seen the first one. The first is him saying, or I watched this off stream, yeah, I'm sure you guys will have seen it. It's him saying that he lost the civil case because it's a vibe check. Find me that. Tectone vibe check. So I've seen this.
A lot of people want to act like they're lawyers these days, okay? They do. What is a civil case? Spoiler alert, guys. I lost a civil case. I did. Hey, I did. And we're going to talk about, I lost. It's true. And we're going to talk about everything. What is a civil case? So a civil case is essentially a vibe check to where they see, how were this guy's vibes? Unfortunately, I'm fucking retarded. Yeah, L for me. I'm fucking retarded and I run my mouth way too much. One thing that I've learned, and throughout this slideshow, there's going to be consistent change. I am going to start tweeting 95% less. I uninstalled Twitter on my phone and I'm not going to tweet for 1 week. Yep, because a civil case isn't determined by proof, it's determined by vibes. And usually the way that court cases work for like criminal cases is you need to have proof to prove that someone's guilty, but in a civil case, I needed proof to prove that I'm innocent, which was hard and I'm a bastard. So essentially, the court decided that I'm a vibe rapist. Yeah, and my vibes were fucking terrible. So the thing that I learned is, Tectone, stop fucking tweeting, because my vibes are fucking terrible. And I don't think I've ever been on Twitter and done something where I was like, you know what? I'm going to tweet something that's positively going to affect my life. But yeah, the vibes are fucking off. The vibes are off. All right, so I lost the vibe check. It's true. Next up.
So Just Pearly Things used to say stuff like this a lot as well, okay? So people bring this up that civil cases aren't real. So in a criminal case, when the state is depriving you of your life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, whatever, the state is taking rights away from you, right? They're kidnapping you, placing you in a jail, whatever. The state is coming after you, okay? Criminal cases require you to either a judge, if you do a judge trial, or jury in a jury trial, require you to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. There's not a particular percentage, but people say 95, 99%, that there cannot be a reasonable doubt as to whether or not you committed the crimes that the prosecutor is charging you with, that you're accused of, okay? In a civil case is not generally coming after you to jail you. I don't think you can ever be jailed as a result of a civil case. You can be fined or have to pay money to the other side, or whatever tort law you're talking about, or whatever contract you violated that you have to make whole. But in a civil case, it's a 51%, basically. They call it a balance of probabilities, or more likely than not, or there's the balance of probabilities is what they say in the UK. There's another word in the US, or term. I always forget this in the US. But it's more likely than not, basically, that you did the thing. Preponderance of evidence is what they say in the US, okay? So when he's saying vibe check, I'm guessing somebody told him this, like, bro, don't worry, it's just a civil case. They're easier to lose than criminal cases, which is true, but it doesn't just mean it's just a vibe check, right? It's just whatever. Like, it's a lot easier to prove, of course, than a criminal case, but the penalties are not including, like, jail time and everything. Do you think this is how Legal Mindset explained it to him? Possibly. So one is because I think this comment is really stupid. It's very annoying to me. It underplays our civil litigation system. Number one. Okay. Number two, I haven't watched this. Does anybody have a link to this full Tectone video? Because somebody told me that he cites me as like, I had good conversations with this guy or something. And this is basically like he's citing this as supportive evidence. And if that's true, that's very fucking annoying to me, because now I feel even worse for having a civil conversation with him if he's using it to build his credibility or something, especially because this fucker has me blocked on X and I have no idea even why. Maybe because I made that one AI picture of me behind a tree. I don't know if anybody... Go to his channel on his live section. that is about something else, not this topic. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe that's not as important. The third thing I heard was that the legal mindset guy was hardcore sweeping for like every single thing this guy did. Wait, legal mindset said it was a vibes check. Is there a link to the legal mindset coverage of this? Because that would be nice to see. I'm just curious what all he said about it as well.
The reason why that was is because I was not able to defend them. The reason why that was to say, I have had political opinions that I have changed. And the reason why that was is because I was not able to defend them. I was not able to explain why. And I found out that I didn't think that they were too good. Now, for example, Donald Trump. I used to think that the tariffs were an amazing thing. But then I had a conversation with Destiny. And since then I realized, well, they're actually not as good as I thought they were. And so now I'm more so on the fence. But, you know, when people present me information, I'm...
Oh, okay. That's not a bad statement. Okay. Let's see. And then there was this. What does anybody have the original video this is linked from? Because 11-second clip.
Yeah, okay, whatever. He could get you into collaborations. And obviously he was working with Mythic Talent, and he could get you into Mythic Talent. I as somebody who works for Mythic, I think Mythic gets you into Mythic.
3 hours and 10 minutes. Oh boy. And it's part 2? Is there a part 1 to this? Oh, hey, that's me. Oh, we can just look at his fast facts. I don't know if I can go.
The Tectone files. Today we get into a drop of documents regarding Tectone and his ongoing...
He actually cries while reviewing this Tectone trial stuff on stream. What?
Legal saga with his former ex. We're going to get that today on the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney living over here in Asia. And this is a fast facts, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So let's jump right into the Tectone files. And once again, this is regarding streamer Tectone, who is today our defendant in this case, the Eggman. Now, to be a real quick disclosure, of course, I do know Tectone. He's an individual I'm familiar with, so you could say I have a bias towards Tectone. But that being said, I'm going to try to do this as neutrally as possible and present both sides of the argument. Because remember, there are always two sides of the argument, and particularly in this post-debt Me Too era, we have to consider all of the factors before we just go out and cancel someone for these allegations. And then we've got the plaintiff Pikachu, who is a streamer here. And
how can you and Hassan be the biggest online leftists that spend so much time on air talking about each other and never just do a quick online debate on your biggest disagreements, like who's too scared and why? Hassan is too scared because he doesn't actually have the ability to defend anything he says, and he just has to create a caricature of me to his audience, and he only cares about building clout and shit, doesn't care about any of the ideas or do any research or know what he's talking about, generally speaking.
And we're going to be getting into their relationship. The important thing to notice being the defendant, Tectone and Pikachu, is they dated, right? So these are exes. They had a relationship that is now over. And then you have filings and accusations coming from this, mainly from a drop by Miskiff, who is clearly trying to put information out there that leads people away from his own case at this point. That seems to be his general legal strategy. So let's get into this. This is Pikachu.
I don't know how Miskiff dropping things to lead people away from his own case is a legal strategy. I think it's like a PR strategy related to his lawsuit. I don't know if lawyers say legal strategy when you're talking about a PR strategy, but I also don't trust anything YouTube lawyers have to say anymore. These people have been so brain broken about my own civil case, and then I've seen them follow other cases. I think that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard did a great disservice to the world by doing anything legally against each other, because they spawned a whole generation of legally retarded dipshits that passed the bar that now do YouTube channels that got way more popular than they ever should have. Holy fuck.
That seems to be his general legal strategy. So let's get into this. This is Pikachu versus Tectone over abuse allegations, both emotional and sexual in nature. There were filings both in the civil context and the criminal context. Now, the civil context that was taken all the way to a conclusion, but the criminal context, remind you, was a police report which was dropped. So that is very, very critical here, that there are no criminal conclusions regarding Tectone. And that's something that needs to be very, very much reinforced throughout all of this. Now, Tectone did deny the allegations of Pikachu, including her of defamation and filing counter evidence. But Tectone ultimately lost his civil suit and was ruled liable for SA, even despite the fact the criminal case was dropped by police. And this had consequences for Tectone because Mythic, the talent agency, which is also my talent agency, dropped him over this. Now, to be very clear about this, once again, with Mythic, I've made it very clear with them that I would be covering issues regardless of how things look. And with Mythic, they have a right, and I can say this based on my own contract, to drop you based on brand appearance, etc. And many advertisers are... gun shy. So even if the allegations are just allegations, they can drop you. Think about Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, look, and with Mythic, they have a right, and I can say this based on my own contract, to drop you based on brand appearance, etc. And many advertisers are gun shy. So even if the allegations are just allegations, they can drop you. Think about Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp.
True, but they're not dropping it because of allegations. It sounds like they're dropping it because he lost the civil case, right? So
Johnny Depp was dropped by Disney, dropped by other advertisers, simply because of allegations that were not yet proven in court. So this is something that Mythic dropping him doesn't make him per se guilty of anything at this point.
It makes him, it's because of the conclusion that he lost his civil case, right? There might not have been a crime that was prosecuted, but...
The person, by the way, that's involved in this, and we're going to get into this, is Freem, who is a former marriage partner of Tectone. So while she's not necessarily a plaintiff, Freem's information is very much relevant to this analysis. So let's get into the kind of some background here before we get into a word. But actually, before we do that, let's get into a word from today's video sponsor. And now a word from today's sponsor, of Data Broker Beat Me. Below. Now, we live in a world that's post-Depp versus Amber Heard, and this is actually, despite what people say, it wasn't Disney, it wasn't Doki, it wasn't anything else that really blew me up. It was Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp.
Ugh, I can't believe he brings this up. God, what a horrible court case for YouTube lawyers to all of these terrible fucking people that blew up on this.
Covering this case. And in this case, BlawTube really blew up because we started covering this neutrally, whereas the whole world in that Me Too era was pro Amber Heard, was pro saying all women believe what she says. And it turns out that Johnny Depp was indeed wronged here and he was vindicated in court. And so when I analyze the Tectone case, I look at this as we are in a post-Depp world. We need to live in a world where we don't believe my dog stepped on a bee and we don't believe any tall tale that came out of what Amber Heard's mouth or anybody else says, because we've seen cases out there in the US that I've covered on this channel, like Trevor Bauer, like the Con case at Princeton, where we have people that are absolutely destroyed. Their careers are just absolutely wrecked based on pure allegation. So let's get into what happened. So all the evidence I'm treating at a higher degree.
I would have to re-look into this. I just Googled this, but I think, wasn't it Johnny Depp won one lawsuit and Amber Heard won the other, right? It was 1-1. So I don't know if, I thought Heard won one of them, the first one, and then Johnny Depp won the second one. But this is, I would have to go back. I'd not say go back. I haven't done this before. I always said I wanted to go back and like read through and listen through the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing because, it's so much. I just don't trust anything that gets cited by people unless I've read the underlying legal stuff myself, because I don't trust any of these fucking YouTube lawyers.
Just absolutely wrecked based on pure allegation. So let's get into what happened. So
Heard didn't win any. It was The Sun that won in the UK. Okay.
All the evidence I'm treating at a higher degree if it's been filed with the court, not just online. But a lot of this stuff that's been filed that's online was indeed filed with the court. And every individual case has to be evaluated for its impact. So what does a civil case mean? Well, what that means is there's a standard of proof that's lower. It's preponderance of the evidence, 51%, you could say, instead of reasonable beyond a reasonable doubt, which is 99.9% of the time. And such, or up in the upper percentages of happening. But Tectone hasn't been convicted of anything criminal. So for all those out there, and I'm looking at you, all the pikers of the world and everybody else who's throwing the names out there, calling him the R word, and I can't say that because of YouTube, is not actually okay. He hasn't been convicted. That is still defamatory to label him as a criminal when he is indeed not been convicted criminally.
Is that defamatory? Is rapist just a statement on somebody's criminal convictions? If you can't have the opinion that somebody's a rapist without them being, if you say he was convicted of rape, sure, but I'm pretty sure you can have the opinion that somebody's a rapist without a criminal conviction of it.
So one thing, looking at the background here, once again, part one, just look at the background. Travis County in Texas has a huge pro-female bias in terms of outcomes. Women who file tend to get very, very, very favorable outcomes in Texas in Travis County. And there's a potential activist judge who had
So this first statement is not supported by the evidence. Whether that's true or false, I don't know. When he says women that file have a high tendency to win, that could obviously be confounded by the fact that women that file probably have pretty strong cases if they're willing to file, right? This is like the child support argument. Like 90% of dads pay child support to the moms, but like in cases where the dads contest custody, they win like 85% of the cases. Well, probably because when the dads are filing, they have a really high claim, or they've exceeded probably a big bar for winning custody, right? So this first statement is not supported by the evidence, although Legal Mindset is both retarded and biased. So he's legally and mathematically retarded, and he's super biased because he fucking hates women if they can speak English. So this is probably all playing into this.
Who file tend to get very, very, very favorable outcomes in Texas in Travis County. And there's a potential activist judge who had a DV bias, who had a history of that did not recuse themselves in this case. Super relevant. Also
I don't know if there's a federal or state case. For federal judges to recuse themselves from cases requires a really big, there has to be a big, you can't just be like, oh, they're biased, or they recuse themselves. Like federal judges very rarely recuse themselves. There has to be a huge conflict of interest there. I don't know about lower courts. I imagine, or state courts. I imagine for state courts, it's probably similar. You wouldn't just randomly recuse yourself. I don't know what he means by activist judge either, in that maybe he just gave decisions that he disagrees with. I don't know, but
jury pool that's biased towards the plaintiff with a skewed heavy female bias, everybody in the courtroom being female, that can tend to bias things when it comes to these outcomes. The other thing, which is different from the Ms. Kiff situation, is we haven't seen abusive communications. In fact, all the communications I reviewed show Tectone as a reasonable, kind guy. He approached Pikachu as a friend, not even as a person trying to slide into the DMs, which, number one, is not a crime, but number two, that wasn't how he approached it. He approached this very innocently after he was betrayed in a relationship, which Freem cheated on him with somebody who was working at the same company, so a work partner, right? So after he was cheated on, he ends up engaging in this relationship, which once again, not smart to rebound, not smart to work with somebody, or sorry, engage with somebody who's perhaps a streamer right afterwards. Dating streamers, always not good, right? Two streamers dating, always not good. But we haven't seen those abusive communications. In fact, when I review the communications, they look much more supportive. And by the way, I'm very, very, very cognizant as someone who struggles with depression myself. This is something I'm very, very sympathetic to for both parts, right? Because Tectone has his own mental health stuff and Pikachu has her own mental health stuff. But when I read this communications between the two, it doesn't seem like this is abusive. So Pikachu says right here, I have something called PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, that I'm being treated for. So I'm in a lot of physical pain and my emotions are really bad. Like just feeling so depressed I don't even want to. So on stream today was really, really rough. I'm trying to be tough through it all, but it's not easy when it feels like the end of the world. So please be patient with me. The doctor said it could be 6 months for treatment to fully work. But in the meantime,
I don't know why, if we've got filings and everything on this, I don't know why we're reading tweets unless these were submitted as exhibits to the court case, but okay.
It's awful managing the mood swings and pain. And I understand this. I understand this completely. And so I'm sympathetic to this. And I understand that there may be some other things going in there with BPD or bipolar disorder, something I'm very familiar with. And I get that. I completely get that. She says, thank you to everyone for being so kind to me while I deal with this. I'm sorry for crying on stream. Well, I did that today. Sometimes it's harder holding it in, but I'm hoping by summer it's going to go a lot better to hang in there. It's tough. I get it. It's tough. And what does Tectone say? He says, I will never understand how much this must hurt you, but proud you're fighting through it. And this is not the language I would see of an abusive partner or someone who's hurting or someone who's out there to get somebody, but someone who
just the public tweets, bro. This is what we're going on. Okay.
Really genuinely wants to help and genuinely cares. So Pikachu's filings regarding Freem are contradictory. She had filings regarding Freem to get her information taken down because Freem called her a house wrecker, called her all sorts of things, filmed her without her consent, engaging in sexual activities with Tectone. Once again, several civil and potentially criminal violations regarding Pikachu and Tectone that were committed by Freem, and Pikachu filed to stop those, which is, to me, contradictory. And it seems like this may be by sexual activities with Tectone. Once again, several partners, someone's hurting or someone's out there to get somebody, but someone who really genuinely wants to help and genuinely cares. So Pikachu's filings regarding Freem are contradictory. She had filings regarding Freem to get her information taken down because Freem called her a house wrecker, called her all sorts of things, filmed her without her consent, engaging in sexual activities with Tectone. Once again, several civil and potentially criminal violations regarding Pikachu and Tectone that were committed by Freem, and Pikachu filed to stop those, which is, to me, contradictory. And it seems like this may be a case of what you call buyer's remorse in dating, where you go back and you say, okay, well, now that I'm out of this, this is a situation where it was buyer's remorse. I regret things I did, or I regret stuff I did, even though it was consensual at the time. And unfortunately, as I got to report to you guys, the U.S. legal system weaponizes this. It allows people to go back, regret things, and then go get protective orders, go make claims in the future when all of this should be dealt with privately. So my judgment at this moment, having reviewed the documents that are out there, is to withhold judgment for the moment pending release of further documentation evidence. We may have stuff that eventually gets unsealed or more communications that come out, more than just what Ms. Kiff is trying to put out to paint some sort of narrative. In a post-debt world, we all need to account for all the evidence taken as a whole before concluding somebody is ripe for cancellation, right? Ms. Kiff releasing these documents clearly does.
What does this have to do with cancellation, with the legal thing? Is this facts from a lawyer about legal stuff, or is this just some ass-pained man who had to fucking flee to Southeast Asia to fuck women that couldn't hear how retarded he is because they don't speak his language, and he just flash $20 bills around? This is the guy, we're just getting his social commentary? Is that...
to take pressure off his case, which contains evidence of abusive communications. Now, I'm not saying Ms. Kiff is guilty yet. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt too. He's going to have his day in court. But if all he's got is throwing a plushie, that's not going to do enough to get away from all the accusations. And first and foremost, I also think that intimate partner relations are very personal and private. Things can get heated between partners. And you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be dragging this out to the court of public opinion and trying to sue people to make these things right. Maybe.
Well, why did she sue him? What was the initial thing for?
We should handle these things privately as adults between two people. Right now,
I wonder if he had that opinion about my court case. He didn't, by the way. Spoiler alert.
Is withheld, but we'll get back. What do you guys think in the comments below? What do you think about Tectone, the Eggman, and what's going on with him? I'll catch you on the next.
And then he cries. I don't know if I can watch a 3. Well, let's see. Because I've got documents. Maybe if our documents start at the same spot, then maybe it's worth it. The earliest document that I have is filed on the 5th day of November in 2025. But it's referring to an order filed on, or an order granted on August 21st, 2025. So there must be earlier ones. Let's see. Oh, Jesus.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Low, man. With the text is right. Stone Files Part freaking 2. And today we've got 225. Hold on. Let me just make sure I get this right. We've got a 2-page document And then we've got a 225-page document to go through today. 225-page document. There will not be a fast facts that fully covers all this. You've got to watch the live to get all of this. It's a necessary evil, right, to get to this. This is going to be a marathon stream. Maybe go 2 hours, 3. We'll see, 2-3 hours till we get through all this. Yeah. These are all new documents. These have not been seen anywhere else. So anybody doing analysis on this has not seen this, and they do not have all the evidence. They do not have all the information. So the main one, this is the disclosure of the transcript for the hearing on the protective order. I've also got confidential polygraph results that I obtained that are very telling, very, very telling with analysis of this. So
do they do polygraphs for civil cases? I guess. I don't know if you can use them in criminal things anymore, but
now most of you did catch my previous Tectone File stream. 61% of you caught that. If you didn't, you really need to go and watch that other one and get the background. There's not going to be. I can't do fast facts that cover reading through court documents for 2-3 hours. I may be able to get some highlights, and I may try to do that. But it's hard to highlight when you need the full context of all the evidence, all the information. So that's just the way it's got to go down. I'm sorry. But what I'm not sorry about is Dire Measures as a new member. Thank you. I'm doing better today. I was pretty sick. I ate something, so I'm feeling better today as well. I've got a little bit more energy today. Who thinks you're into a legal case? You're putting yourself out there. You're suing somebody. You're putting information out there. You're putting your name on that. Same as becoming a lawyer. As a lawyer, my name is out there, right? In the Bar Association website, right? So your information is out there. You're out there. You're a public figure, right? You're choosing to do that. You're choosing to engage in this process. So reading what is a public document is not doxing, right? So anybody who's out there yes, is almost complete. I'm going to scuff it. It's unnatural. Well, I do like to have your beverage choice. For me, it's just water today.
I kind of agree with that. Full disclosure, the Pinky Chew messaged me and talked a lot about this, so I'm going to try not to show doxing stuff just out of respect for this person, I guess. But like, if you are filing a public lawsuit, then I mean, like, the information is public. Yeah, I think her claim is that her lawyers messed up the filings or something, or that it was supposed to be filed under seal, but it wasn't. I don't know how true or not true that is. I haven't dug in deeply to all of that yet, but
today. The Mont Fleur, the water of life, right? Water of life. Not a sponsor of this channel, but we're gonna have a lot today. I'm probably gonna start with the polygraph because it's shorter and we can get this done. But when we get into the actual 225-page hearing on the application for protective order, we'll take some breaks at certain points. Okay. I'll give you a very quick summary for those that just joined on here. This is involving Tectone and his former girlfriend, Pikachu, that he engaged in a relationship with almost immediately after he was cheated on by Freem, his former spouse. And
is he just going over this transcript? Is that all he does in this? Because in that case, I don't know. Okay. Yes. Oh, fuck. Then I don't know.